So, Thailand, right? The land of smiles, it's calling. And you've given us like a whole stack of fascinating articles to dig into here.
Yeah, a real mix. We've got nomadic Matt's personal experiences, which are always interesting.
Right. Boots on the ground stuff. Then there's a Klook blog,
Mm.
just packed with attractions.
Mm-hmm. And Reddit threads, full of that practical, like, hey, I just did this kind of advice.
Exactly. And Wiki Voyage, which is just, wow, comprehensive, covers everything.
A proper deep dive into the A to Z.
So our mission today really is to sift through all this for you. We want to pull out the absolute essentials for a potential trip.
Yeah, make it manageable so you're not overwhelmed, just, informed and hopefully pretty excited.
That's the plan. Because you look at these sources, you've got personal stories, lists of must-sees, real traveler tips, cultural info, logistics. It's a lot.
It really is, but it gives us that rounded view, doesn't it? Not just the glossy brochure version.
Totally. So think of this as your express lane to understanding Thailand. For you, the learner, we want to pinpoint those aha moments.
Those key takeaways, the practical stuff, what makes Thailand tick and how you can actually navigate it.
Yeah, balancing the iconic destinations, the beaches, the temples, with understanding the culture and getting those, like, insider tips.
It's about getting you from just thinking maybe Thailand to feeling, well, actually prepared to maybe plan it.
Okay, let's dive in then. Where better to start than, well, the food? Nomadic Matt absolutely raves about the street food.
He does. He calls it a great equalizer, which I think is such a fantastic description.
It really is. What does he mean by that exactly?
Well, he talks about eating amazing food alongside people from absolutely all walks of life, anytime, anywhere.
Ah, okay, so it kind of dissolves social barriers, that shared experience.
Exactly. It speaks to that communal aspect of Thai culture, food as a social thing.
He also mentions local markets, right? Not just for eating, but for soaking up the atmosphere.
Yeah, experiencing the local pace, sampling things. It's more than just fuel. It's cultural immersion.
And it's not just street food, though, is it? He mentioned some pretty high-end stuff, too.
Oh, definitely. World-class international cuisine, Michelin stars, great sushi, halal, Indian food, especially in Bangkok's Sukhumvit area. It's surprisingly diverse.
Okay, interesting. And the Klook blog, they mentioned the street food, too.
They do, yeah. Side by side with, like, modern shopping malls in Bangkok, that all contrast.
The tradition and modernity coexisting.
Right. And they talk about the floating markets like Damno and Sarawak, the whole Venice of the East idea. That sounds pretty unique.
Definitely. And if you're watching the pennies, what was the Reddit advice?
Yeah. User IsangoTravel01 basically says, hit the street food, great way to save cash and still eat incredibly well.
Makes sense. Now, Wiki Voyage gets into the nitty-gritty, the etiquette.
Right, like using the fork and spoon. Fork pushes food onto the spoon. You eat with the spoon. Don't put the fork in your mouth.
Good tip. Easy mistake to make.
And the whole sharing dishes thing, that's pretty central to Thai meals, apparently.
Okay. And for vegetarians, Wiki Voyage flags the fish sauce issue.
Yeah, nampla. It isn't a lot of things, so worth asking. But they also mention the pear sign, that's the vegetarian symbol.
Ah, good to know.
And tofu is everywhere, so it's definitely doable. Wiki Voyage also breaks down the regional cuisines, southern, central, northern, Asian, even Chinese influences.
So Thai food isn't just one thing, it's really varied.
Hugely. And they mention specific experiences too, like suki, that's like a hot pot thing.
Oh, okay.
And popular chains like Coca, MK, Fuji, Zen. Plus, the classics like mango sticky rice, pad krapao. You won't go hungry.
Ah, definitely
Enjoy
not.
it.
Sounds amazing. Okay, food. Check. What about those legendary beaches and islands? Nomadic Matt calls it paradise found.
He's super enthusiastic, especially about the southern islands near Malaysia. Places like Koh Chang, Koh Kood, Surin Island, Koh Adang, Koh Lanta.
Postcard perfect stuff.
That's the picture he paints. But he adds a big caveat, doesn't he?
He does. Avoid the overdeveloped spots. Find the quieter beaches.
Exactly. Paradise is there, but you need to know where to look and maybe where not to look.
And Klook lists loads of islands, too, including the really famous ones like Koh Phi Phi and Phuket.
Yeah, they say it's stunning, great for honeymoons, but also that accommodation is deliberately limited.
To preserve it.
Seems like it. Trying to strike that balance between tourism and, not ruining the place.
Makes sense. Klook also mentions Phang Da Bay, those limestone cliffs.
The iconic ones, yeah. And the Similan Islands for snorkeling. Sounds incredible.
Wiki Voyage gives more detail on the different island vibes, right?
Definitely. They talk about Krabi Nong, Railay, Koh Phi Phi, Koh Lanta, and Phuket, of course. But they do note Phuket is very developed.
So maybe not for everyone seeking peace and quiet.
Probably not. They actually highlight Koh Lipe as being relatively unspoiled with great reefs.
Okay, good tip. What about Koh Phangan? Isn't that the party island?
Well, yes, famous for the full moon party. But Wikivoyage says it also has quieter beaches away from all that, so depends what you're after.
Great. It's got options.
Yeah. And a few others they mention. Koh Chang has more of a backpacker feel. Koh Koot is pretty remote, harder to get around. And Koh Samet is the closest to Bangkok, but because of that, it can get really crowded.
So choosing your island needs a bit of thought, depending on your style.
Absolutely. Research seems key there.
Okay, be on the coast then.
Mhm.
Thailand's also got amazing inland scenery. Nomadic Matt seemed really impressed by the jungles.
He did, called them some of the most beautiful and luscious he's seen. High praise.
Wow. Which ones did he mention?
Khao Yai National Park, known for elephants. Khao Sok, famous for its lake. And the trekking near Chiang Mai, like hill tribe treks.
So it really pushes the experience beyond just sand and sea.
Totally. And Cloak backs us up, highlighting Khao Yai as a UNESCO site.
Oh, wow. UNESCO.
Yeah, with bears, tigers, elephants. Obviously, seeing tigers would be, rare and lucky, but the biodiversity is huge. Plus waterfalls, hiking, viewpoints, camping.
Sounds incredible for nature lovers. They mentioned any others?
Doi Inthanon National Park, near Chiang Mai. More mountain scenery.
Okay. So stunning beaches, lush jungles, mountains. The natural beauty is definitely a massive draw.
No question. A huge variety.
All right, let's shift gears to culture and history. Klook seems to have a lot on Bangkok sites.
Yeah, starting with Wat Pho, home of the huge reclining Buddha.
A must-see, surely.
Absolutely. And apparently, it's also where traditional Thai massage originated. Plus, they have those 108 bowls for dropping coins in for good fortune. It sounds like a really immersive place.
More than just looking at a statue.
Definitely. Then there's the Grand Palace, the old royal residence. And inside that complex is Wat Phra Khai, the Temple of the Emerald Buddha.
Klook emphasizes how grand it is, right?
Right.
And really important to Thai people.
Yes, hugely significant. They also mention Chinatown Yaowarat Road. Sounds super vibrant, especially during festivals.
Like a sensory overload in a good way.
That's the impression. Sights, sounds, smells. Then, looking beyond Bangkok, Klook talks about Sukhothai.
The ancient capital.
Exactly. Impressive ruins there, and also nearby Sisechanalai Historical Park. History buffs would love that.
Sounds like it. Anywhere else culturally unique?
They mention Mai Hong Son for its unique Shan culture, and Pei for its natural beauty, offering a different vibe. Oh, and the Big Buddha in Phuket. Can't forget that landmark.
Right, another iconic image. And up north, in Chiang Mai.
Klook features Wat Phra, that Doi Sithet. That's the temple up on the mountain with amazing views.
Ah, I've seen pictures. Looks incredible.
Apparently the architecture is really intricate, and there's a museum, too. They also mention Bo Sang Handicraft Village nearby, famous for making umbrellas.
Oh, cool. A chance to see traditional crafts.
Exactly. And Wikivoyage just hammers home Chiang Mai's history, former Lana capital, over 300 temples.
300. Wow.
Yeah, so basically wherever you go, there's just layers of history and culture to uncover.
Definitely seems that way. Okay, practicalities. Getting around. This can be tricky in a new country. What did the sources say?
Well, Reddit had some real-world tips. Mindoff's Jai advised against using Uber in Bangkok.
Oh, really? Why?
Didn't say exactly why, but recommended regular taxis instead. Crucial tip, though. Show the driver the destination on a map. Helps avoid confusion.
Good advice. Saves potential hassle. What about trains?
Same user found the train system a bit confusing for a first-timer.
Okay. Another Reddit user suggested Grab, the ride-hailing app.
Yeah, Grab in Bangkok seemed to be the recommendation, and then renting a motorbike elsewhere outside the big city.
So ride-hailing is an option. What about Wikivoyage's overview?
Much more comprehensive. For long distances, domestic flights are pretty common and convenient, especially Bangkok to Phuket or Chiang Mai.
If you book ahead, probably.
Yeah. Also, VIP intercity buses, they're apparently quite comfortable. And trains. They mentioned the network in the new main station in Bangkok, Kranthup, Afiwat. Useful to know.
Good update. What about local travel? Renting cars.
Wikivoyage mentions it, but urges caution. Thailand's road safety record isn't great.
Okay. Motorbikes.
Super popular, easy to rent, great for exploring locally, but again, massive emphasis on safety. Helmets are mandatory and absolutely essential. It's dangerous.
Right. What else for getting around towns?
They mentioned song saws, sort of like shared pickup truck taxis. They run set routes, usually cheap.
Ah, okay.
And the classic tuk-tuks, of course. More of an experience, maybe not the cheapest. And then grab and bolt the apps again.
And crucially, they drive on the left.
Yes. Very important reminder, especially if you're even thinking about driving yourself. Left-hand traffic.
Got it. So lots of options. But safety, especially on the roads, seems paramount.
Absolutely. Research your specific routes and, yeah, be careful.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on to other really key practical stuff. Staying safe, daily realities. Nomadic Matt is really strong on travel insurance.
He is. Calls it comprehensive protection. Says he never travels without it. Full stop.
Doesn't mess around with that.
Nope. He even lists companies like Safety Wing, World Nomads, Insure My Trip, MedJet, different options depending on your needs. Plus, he has a resource page for saving money generally.
Handy. What about the Reddit wisdom on practicalities?
Some gold nuggets there. Currency exchange. Do it outside the airport for better rates. Look for places called super rich.
Super rich. Okay.
Keep cash in bat. Tell your bank you're traveling. Standard stuff, but easy to forget.
True. Anything else?
Yeah, interesting one. Bring your passport. If you buy Apple stuff, you can claim the VAT back at the airport when you leave.
Oh, nice little saving.
And
And vaccinations.
a user mentioned that post-April 2023, they weren't mandatory anymore. Obviously, check current rules before you go, but that was the info shared.
Always good to check official sources. Now, Wikivoyage must have a ton on this.
Oh, yeah. Money, exchange, ATMs, credit cards, the 7% VAT refund for tourists, tipping etiquette, general costs for budgeting.
Essential planning info. But the safety section sounded quite detailed.
Very. Covers potential political unrest advice is just avoid protests. Scams, the gem scam, ticket scams, even warns about fake monks asking for money.
Fake monks. Wow.
Yeah, don't give them money. Also, robbery risk on overnight buses. Things to be aware of, definitely.
Sobering but important. What else?
Addresses things like prostitution, notes the age of consent, vaping, surprisingly harsh laws, though enforcement might vary, drugs, extremely severe penalties, not worth the risk at all.
Absolutely not.
And repeats the road safety warnings. High fatality rate, avoid overnight travel if possible. Wildlife too, stray dogs, monkeys, new temples, snakes, just general awareness needed.
And health and culture.
Health. Pharmacies are common, healthcare available, but insurance strongly recommended. Culture. Dress modestly, especially temples. Respect monks, women shouldn't touch them. The way gesture for greeting. Head is sacred, feet are low.
Understanding those nuances seems really key to having a respectful and smooth trip.
Definitely. It shows respect and helps you connect better, avoid causing offense.
Absolutely. Okay, let's quickly touch on budget again. Any specific tips on saving money from the sources?
Reddit user MindoffShy had good advice for markets. Haggling is expected, basically.
Okay.
But don't stress if you pay a tiny bit more than a local would. It's still likely cheap for you. Fixed prices in proper stores, though no haggling there.
Got it. And tours.
They suggest researching online first, get an idea of prices, but maybe check with local guides when you arrive, too. Sometimes you find better deals locally.
Interesting. Worth checking both.
And Nice and Go Travel 01 again mentioned street food and public transport in Bangkok for saving. Plus budget hostels.
Right, the classic backpacker savers. Wikivoyage mentioned budget places too.
Yeah, guest houses, often basic but affordable accommodation. So definitely ways to do Thailand on a budget if you're smart about food, transport, and where you sleep.
Well, the learner, that was quite the journey through these sources.
Yeah.
It feels like we've covered a lot of ground.
We really have.
So just to quickly recap for you, Thailand offers this incredible mix, doesn't it? Amazing food, stunning beaches and jungles, really deep culture and history.
Absolutely. A huge spectrum of experiences, from Bangkok's buzz to total island tranquility.
And yeah, navigating in transport, safety, cultural respect. It takes some awareness, some prep.
For sure. But the message from all these sources really is that the payoff is huge. An unforgettable trip awaits if you dive in.
Right. So here's something to think about as we wrap up. We've talked about Nomadic Matt's love for street food, Click's highlighting of temples, Reddit's practical tips. With all that swirling around, what single thing about Thailand most grabs your attention right now?
Yeah, what sparks your curiosity the most? Is it the food, the beaches, the history, the adventure? And thinking about that, what could be the very first, maybe small step you could take to turn this deep dive into, well, your own potential Thai adventure?
Maybe it's looking up those quieter islands Matt mentioned, or researching vegetarian options, or even just checking flight prices for a random week. What's that first little spark for you?